everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Amy and this is part 2 of my thrifty antique haul that I'm doing for you guys. And I should have started this in the first video so that I could have been doing some of it in each one. So I'm going to start with this, you guys. I was watching a TikTok video where someone bought one of these rugs from Five Below, one of these shindy rugs. And you know, these are rag rugs, right? So they bought one and cut it up. And I was like, that's kind of genius. So most people are into taking their fabric scraps and making rugs, you know, out of something. But here I want to do it in reverse and see if we can get any crafty scraps for journaling. Now, I'm trying not to have to cut this, but I guess I'm going to have to cut the tag off. So I paid $5.55 for this rug. So I figure that's not a whole lot to spend to just tear apart a rug. And some of you would probably be horrified that I'm doing this. But in my area, it is very hard to find fabric scraps in thrift stores. I don't know why that is. Probably because people are using it for crafty purposes. But anyway, so in this YouTube or in this TikTok video, they literally were just they probably don't have the right scissors for this, cutting apart the threads that are holding this rug together. And I'm not sure like how much I will have to cut before I can actually get one of the scraps out. Let me take my glasses off. So yeah, have you guys ever kind of reversed a rug like this for scraps for $5? Why not? Okay, so I can see here we've got a weave. I probably should have just cut the edge off and I could use this edge as a edging on something because it's knotted. Well, okay, those are coming out of the... So yeah, so I'm gonna just, it's $5, right? So if it all just comes apart, some of you are like, no, not at first. Too late. Too late, I'm going in. So how you guys been? I'm filming on Saturday, and I'm not sure what day this will end up airing. All right, we've got some... See, what I'm curious about is, will this whole blue section have this exact same thing, or will they have legitimately used different scraps? So I'm trying to figure out, because you can see it loops around. So I guess it just goes in, like here, it's run out, right? So maybe I should cut kind of around there and see. Obviously on the TikTok video, they were able to, well, they edited it, of course. And so, and they sped it up, and I'm not doing either of those. And so like here, we've got where this blue one ends and then this pretty turquoisey one begins. So that is what I'm going to be over time trying to get all of this out so that I can then show you what what kind of scraps you can get out of a rug like this. And I'm really hoping that because I'm using I mean, see, there's all, see this, maybe this was the bottom side of the rug, but it's a cheap rug, you guys. So it's not a big deal that I'm tearing this apart, but like, look. So yeah, so I want to see, I'm hoping that I get the same kind of variety that the TikToker got. Probably not, right? They probably added some of their own scraps in, but we'll see. So I'm going to be pulling this apart, and then we'll see what kind of, how much scrap we can get out of a $5 rug. And if it's like, this feels like taffeta, nylon. Well, it's not stretchy. It's not stretchy, but it's shimmery. It could be, I mean, this may be all polyester. Was there a tag? Do you figure a care tag? 95%, no, 94% polyester, 5% cotton, and 1% other fibers. Spot clean only. It is flammable. Well, yeah, because of the, now see, there's a lot more variety in the red section. So I feel like we'll get some good scraps once we get into some of these others. But some of them, I mean, I don't know where these are made, but some of them, if it was real, had some really cool scraps, like literal scraps that had decorative edges on them, but they were just all kind of wound together in this, because this would be scraps from a textile company, whoever made this. So yeah, so we'll go on that journey together, but I'll do a lot of it off camera so that we can see what kind of scraps we get. I should have started with the red side, so maybe I'll start over on the red side. And then we'll see too if this ends up being something that could still be used as a trim on the edge of paper or something. So yeah, so I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what that becomes. So that is that. So then before the next video, I will have some actual full pieces of that to show you guys. Okay, so I've got Peanut right here by my foot. I don't need to sit that close to the camera. I got super hot filming the last video because she was laying on me. So now I'm trying to, well, she's still kind of laying on me. Her butt is. All right, so let's get started. We'll start with some books. These are things, if you didn't catch the first part of this series, please go back and check that. I'm going to hopefully I'm hopefully going to start, I've done thrift hauls before, but I'm going to try or have a playlist starting with the first one of this series. So these came from thrift stores and some of them from my favorite antique store. So, and hopefully I can find a Facebook page or something for the Chirping Frog that I can link to. All right, so we have some more stencil books. If you saw my last video, this one was different though, because these are designs, but I don't think they're actually meant for using as stencils like some of the books we had. This is just showing the illustrations, but really it's just great scrapbook paper, right? You're just really buying, I got this for $2. What is that? I don't know, but if you like Japanese art, you might really like some of these. So these, a whole lot of ways that you can use this kind of stuff. It bugs me that it's printed front to back because they won't line up. And so invariably you end up cutting one of the designs in a way you don't want to. But I guess, you know, like, I love that. Like if I put some of these in ephemera packs. It'll be some kind of cool paper. It would also be cool to tea dye that or coffee dye it, and see, you know, how that affects it. Then we've got decorative stencil designs, more. These are also front and back, but again, just fussy cutting, more so this one than the other one because they're all different shapes and sizes. But if you want, you know, your decorative edges on things, like you can make a belly band out of that, or a pocket, or a corner pocket, tuck spot. But yeah, lots of great images to cut out. And so I was really happy when I found this. I did not buy them all. I probably could have, just because they were only $2 a piece, but there were some that I didn't like. So I'm like, why would I buy those? And then this one, these are actual ones that you cut up, which means that they should be only one-sided. Yeah. So they're only one-sided. They're a good heavy cardstock because it's got to hold up to the stenciling process. But these, I guess we've got carousel animals, which I thought was kind of fun. If you're doing I could see having, like, if you have a journal with like rings at the top, you could have a cool kind of flipping with some of those. So really pretty for a horse journal. So some of these things I may cut up and use in things I sell. Some of them I may just list the whole thing on either my Etsy or my Whatnot store for sale. Oh, I love this one. So this one is just a whole bunch of fonts, and then every so often they've used part of the font in an advertisement. It's kind of weird to me that there would be like a book of fonts, but it says Stencil alphabets, but nobody's gonna sit through this book and make these into stencils. So who is the original person that this book was marketed to? Like, is it a catalog? But there's no, but see, I love finding things like that. But these would be good pages in a ephemera pack too, because then whoever gets this could decide which side they like better, and then they would have letters they could cut out. But I mean, there are some really pretty ones in there. So for $2, heck yeah. This book is a historical book. I paid $2 for, about the Statue of Liberty and its history. This was the Centennial Commemorative Edition from TV Guide. And so I was thinking that meant it would be 1976, but it's really 1984. So maybe that was the centennial of when we got the Statue of Liberty, which it would probably tell me that in this book. So it's got real photo pictures in it, which that's not overly interesting to me. But I will say, I talked about this on the last one. See that F? Get yourself some, well, you could cut it out, obviously, or you could get yourself some packing tape, put it on and rip it off, and then create a word with some other letters. But I don't know if this is the guy who created it. So it's kind of, that one's kind of a little bit too big maybe for a journal. But then it's got, you know, pictures at work. You could make those into like postcards or journaling cards. Here's a stereoscope reproduction in here, which is unfortunate that they put it in the crease. But those would be cool images to cut out. So you'd end up with two because you wouldn't be able to keep it whole. But yeah, I I'm not a big photo fan, but I do like the black and white photos. And I love, my dad was an architect. I guess I could say he still is an architect. He's still living. You don't just stop. You just stop doing it for money. But so I like architectural photos and engineering photos, and you've got things like this that'd be great to cut out. So I like looking at, oh, and here we've got another LBJ, strange guy. But I like seeing historical pictures of people in like everyday life. I think that's fun. So I like looking and picking up historical books for that purpose. Oh, I love this picture. This is great. So, all right, then let's see what this is. Oh, this is a note cards. Just a whole set of, I think there's 40. There's 40 seals, never been used, and I counted 39 cards, but I may have miscounted, or somebody may have used one, and that's why it's open. But it is a tri-fold card. So would you have to use a regular stamp, or could you, is there such thing as a postcard stamp still? That postcards mail for cheaper? I don't know if this would qualify, but then it's blank on the other side, and all of them in the pack are that look like this. So these are great for, like I said, I've been enjoying finding vintage stationery. I never could get myself to be a stationery user, but I loved collecting stationery when I was a little kid. And I had one friend that I did do as a pen pal with for several years. I wish I still had, or maybe I still have those letters somewhere, buried somewhere. And I've never been able to find her on Facebook. And we were friends for a long time. So that's kind of sad. But ever since then, I've always liked collecting. And I did write to my grandmother on my dad's side. She would write me letters and I would write her back. But that's like the extent of it. I've talked about this before. I was never good at sending out birthday cards and stuff, even though I used to make cards. That was kind of one of my first trips into the crafting world, was card making. But okay, so back to books. So some children's books. We've got, these were all retired books from a school library, I think. Oh no, this was a public library. Monroe City Public Library. Mitzi's Magic Garden. So I like these that have the hard cover. They would, I mean, they're not old, but they're vintage. So I guess they're not antique like the old cool antique books. But anyway, they tend to be in decent shape. And it had an envelope with a torn, bummer, kind of torn card in there. So you can fix this kind of thing, or maybe you'd like it like that, or you could even take this off of here altogether and use it somewhere else. But it just had some good kind of images for kids, fussy cutting or that kind of thing. That one was $2. All three of these were $2. So this one, I kind of liked the artwork for this. It was kind of a, it's probably a certain type of artwork, the way this person did this, but there's no solid lines in it. But we've got a bag full of nothing, and this one is from 1974, but it's, I don't know, it's just, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. So I guess I won't. It's this. It looks like this. And isn't this beautiful? So I just thought because this had full color illustrations, I liked that. And then a lot of these are kind of border-like images. So if you're an artist and this is a certain kind of style of art, let me know. So I just really and I liked the colors, kind of muted tone, neutral tone colors in those. And then we have Nana Upstairs and Nana Downstairs. $2 book, weekly reader children's book club book. And it's a inside book plate. And then it had ones that I thought would be good for cutting out too, and they're kind of in the same spots on the page, so I think you could do it in a way that you could get both images safely cut out in them. And like for this, say you wanted this image, but you see it's taking up the whole page, and you also wanted the back, you could put paper over this part if you wanted, and then give them a journaling spot. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of, there's not very many colors used in these pictures, and I liked those, so picked that up. And $2 for a kid's book is not bad. Then I found more sewing patterns. These were from a different place than the last ones I showed you guys, but look at that. Now, of course, they stuck the price tag on the front. Like, there's all this space back here you could put that on. I know they're in a hurry and they don't care, but I loved these outfits. Did this one have a year on it that's easily found? 73. And you guys, I got a whole bunch of patterns once from the Goodwill outlet. And you know what I did? I took all of the patterns out of these and separated them. How dumb was that? Because I was like, well, some people will want just this part. Some people will want just the instructions. Some people will want just the tissue paper. What an idiot. So I don't do that anymore. But there's this one, which I really thought these were some, like I said, I like the illustrated images on patterns. This one is undated, but this one makes me think a little bit older, maybe 60s. And then back to the 70s with this one, I would say 74. And you can always look these up online. All of these, so this was Simplicity. There was McCall's. I mean, McCall's has been around since the 1800s. And this was also Simplicity. You can always look these up online with the number to date them if you're ever curious. All right, then, well, I got this. This is, why did I get this? I don't know. I paid $1.50 for this, but it's got, I mean, you could reuse this. I would never, I don't particularly care for this. Like I said, I'm not a cartoon person, so you could reuse this as a journal because you can take these out. Yeah, they screw out, and then you could use this as a journal. So I was thinking that for one thing, but I would totally cover this with something so that's totally unrecognizable, because this was from 2000. So you get, and it's expandable. You can make it as big as you want. Well, no, that's probably not true. It probably wouldn't get much bigger than this unless you had different screws. yeah, so I'm probably talking out of my head, but it only matters in this part here. So you just have all of your chunkiness would be out in this part, and then it would, you know, it'd be like this. But anyway, I got it because I just like different kinds of paper. And so it's a stamp book. So you're supposed to fill these out and I guess cut them out. And then there's 10 stamp pages in the back, which I don't know. So I just figured I've been buying stamps and I could put them in there. And yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. I'm not overly creative. I'm an overly creative thinker, but I watch a lot of videos that give me ideas that I then pass on to you, because you guys know I don't really craft myself anymore. All right, then I found just these, which I got these for Jason because he does collect Pokemon cards and stuff, and $2 for 2 sets of these seemed like a good deal. Nothing overtly crafty about that, but you could cut those up and use the acetate from them to make windowed pockets. That would be cute. Then I got some, this felt again like it's probably not old at all, but I got this kind of vintagey looking to me baby wrapping paper. And looks like I spent 50 cents for that. But yeah, it was fun taking the day off and going out shopping. Here I am telling you guys, oh, I'm going to de-stash all my stuff, and I am, but I keep adding to the pile of stuff to de-stash because I don't know, it's what's fun right now. I don't know if you guys are like me and things go in and out of enjoyment, but they do for me. I get bored easily. So this, I think this was just a box that was used to put these in, because I don't think these went with this box, but that's okay because you could still use parts of that box for craft stuff too. But it had 3 different sets of stationery in them. Maybe 1 piece was used, but we've got, and these are kind of a little bit grungier, right? They kind of have grunginess to them, but that's okay. I don't mind that. So we had a butterfly trifold, and no idea on age of these because they don't place to put your stamp. Oh, and they have lick 'em to stick 'em on there. So there were six of those, but yeah, they're kind of grungy. So like they weren't possibly kept in their packaging. And maybe that's why they're in this other packaging. Then there were 6 of these with the cute birds. Robin eggs, maybe, because they're blue. And they also have the sticky up there, plain on the inside, and then looks like this on the outside. So definitely, this would be a cool one to just put into, or maybe you glue this part down to the paper. No. Maybe you glue a piece of paper inside in this fold, so you've got part of it can flip out that way, and then this part can flip out this way. You guys have seen videos where they do that. So, but I thought those, oh, and mushrooms. I hadn't noticed the mushrooms. So this like incorporates a lot of my favorite things, flowers, birds, and botanical. And it's almost like a shamrock down there. And then there were only 5 of this one, which is another pretty botanical, way more decorated than the others. So I don't think, oh, there was a price of $3.25 on this box. But yeah, my guess is that what originally came in this box looked like this. Then I always pick these up if I can find them for a good price. I have some of this stuff in my Etsy shop for sale right now, but this one is in pretty, well, at least the spine was in pretty rough shape, but you could make a cover out of it if you wanted to, but I like it because it's got all of these single color picture. Well, okay, every book has a section of full color pictures, but the majority of the book is these single colored illustrate. Okay, I'm just a liar. But here we go back. Yeah, okay, so I don't know what I'm talking about, but the majority of the ones I've bought in the past are like this. Maybe a few stories, but look at that cute mice. And yeah, so I just really like these books, but I've seen them in all kinds of prices, and I honestly don't know how much I paid for this one. I think this one was in the Chirping Frog half price kids book booth, so probably only paid $1 or $2 for it. But I've seen some people try to sell these for $20, and at that price, it's a whole series. Like, they've got a whole series, and I think, because it's the best in children's books, so it's almost like Reader's Digest for children, like an illustrated Reader's Digest. This one is from 1960. Oh, wait. Okay, this is not the series of books that you can get. These are all the stories that are in this book, but there is a whole series of these books, which it doesn't look like they have a list of them in here. But I will say they do have kind of a deckled, I don't know, maybe that's not deckled enough to be called deckled, but it's got a rough edges, which I also like. So, so yeah, I love these books. So I pick them up whenever I can if they're a good price, but I'm not paying, I wouldn't even go up to 10 on a book like that. Okay, now I found this. I told you this video is going to be more books, but we might get through it all in this one. So this is, whenever you go into antique stores, there are so many booths that have books on collecting something or other. So this is one of those 4 postcards. But what I love about this, and it's like that for stamps too, but if you have any kind of hobby that you really like, it's got, because it's showing you tons of what's really out there. So that's Halloween postcards. There was, let's see if I can find it. We've got Christmas and New Year, or Santa Claus and New Year. And you can cut these out. Now, granted, they've got images on the back, so you're cutting some out that you wouldn't get Valentine's Day. Okay, St. Patrick's Day. I literally, let me find it. I've been buying ones for St. Patrick's Day, and one of these I just bought. I think it was this one that I just bought, the real one of that. So obviously it doesn't have every single postcard that exists, but it's like a pricing book. So they're all numbered. Like there's prices at the bottom, but I don't know how you're supposed to know. Like the postcards themselves aren't numbered. So I don't know how you're supposed to know. Oh, they're going from top to bottom. So then it's got the prices down here, duh. So yeah, so that price, how old is this book? 1984. Okay, so pretty old. So back then, that postcard that I bought is worth $1 to $2, and that's probably what I paid for it today. But so yeah, so all of this is just tons of stuff to cut out. But then it also had the colored ones. So there were several pages of the colored images. And then it goes back to, but that's all it is. It's just a whole book full of images. So I should do one with a colored page, right? Oh, that's too close. Don't get your face so close to the screen. Kitties, who doesn't like kitties? So, and this was one I have no idea what I paid for because it was in that flea market that wasn't priced. And she just ended up telling me a one price for everything I got in there. And I was like, oh, I guess that sort of seems reasonable. So I don't know what I paid for it because I'm a dope sometimes. So this one was only $1, probably because it's in really rough shape. But I like finding Mother Goose books. But you can see it's totally missing the spine. This one, it's also got like pages torn, but it does still have the title page. So this one was made, oh my goodness. So this one was originally copyrighted 1916, but this shows every single printing of it, and the last one on here is 71. So it's not as old as I thought, but look at how they did that. Every single one. That seems crazy. But then you guys have seen these before. They just have great images that you can cut out, or you can fold and make the center fold of a signature. Or if you're doing a long skinny one, it's kind of perfect for that, to fold and put in one of those. It is perfect for that. So I know some people prefer to do the long skinny ones, but for $1, that seemed like a steal. Sorry, I'm trying to find places to put all of these things. And then, okay, we've talked about this before, the grocery stamps, right? That people used to get when they, would buy their groceries, and depending on how much their groceries were, they got so many stamps. And so I have all those books of stamps that are in my shop and stuff. Well, this is the catalog for one of those companies on what you could buy with your stamps. And I didn't realize that till I got home, because I was like, Top Value Stamps, family gift catalog. I don't know. To me, I saw a catalog. And so I was like, yes, please, because I love these old catalogs and these old images. So, I mean, look at that. It's like, I don't know. I have to look to see if I can find, I don't think I could find a year on this anywhere. But all the things you could buy with stamps. So let's just go back to, well, let's look at this fur coat. So this fur coat over here, let's see what that would cost you. If I can find it. That is it have a letter? It doesn't. Well, there's all of these. Okay. That one doesn't. Oh, yes, it does. Number 9. So the full mink coat. It says, "The Magnificence of Mink by Mademoiselle in this fabulous full-length coat of lustrous amber haze, fashioned with double shawl collar, deep turn back cuffs, hand finished pure silk lining. Whoa, you had to have 800 books of stamps for that, plus $300. Or wait, plus 300 FET. I guess I don't know what FET is. Oh, it says copyright 1965. So, okay, but say you just want the shrug, the fox shrug, 26 3/5 books plus $10 or 10 FET. Does it say what an FET is? Wow, how long would it take to, well, I know each book was worth so much because you could put like, well, maybe not for this company, but you could put like one stamps worth 1 or 5 or 10 or 50 in these books. So I don't know how. If you lived more than 25 miles from the nearest redemption center, you could redeem your books by mail. And many of the items marked direct ship are immediately available in a large number of top value redemption centers. Where were these redemption centers, I wonder? Well, this company was out of Dayton, Ohio. But, oh, FET is Federal Retailers Excise Tax. So it's the tax on the item. Okay, so you could travel. Okay, let's look at one of these travel ones. So they've got travel. So say you wanted to go to Las Vegas. A fabulous vacation for 3 days and 2 nights. Your short stay will be packed with 4 glamorous shows, including the famous Follies, Bergères, 2 dinners, 2 free cocktails, an air-conditioned room at the Flamingo Hotel, effective March 1st, 1965 through April 30th, 1966 only. 2 persons, 18 books, tax included. Wow. So Hawaii would cost anywhere from 34 to 156 books. Miami, 14 to 47 books. They've got like France on here, but it doesn't have the price on them. It looks like you have to write to them and ask what it would cost. So they have France, Italy, England, Japan, India, and Africa. But, oh, they have the Better Homes cookbook that we see in all of the antique stores. What if you wanted a picture of the traditional picture of Jesus from back in the day? That's number 28. The Head of Christ was only 4/5 of a book. And a typewriter, 23 books. That kind of looks like the typewriter my parents had. You want yourself a silver set, a silver tea set? We have to buy it by the piece. So my great-grandmother, this is how she bought her china. And I inherited that china when she died. And so when my great-grandmother died, she had 2 children. My grandmother, and who was actually her niece that she adopted, because my grandmother was one of 10 some children, and she was the last child that her mother had, and her mother died, had been told after child 2 or 3 to stop having kids, and she didn't, because, you know, back then they just didn't stop having kids. And so her mom got really sick after she had her, and that was back when they kind of put you in, not in a nursing home, but a convalescent home, and she ended up dying there. So then her aunt adopted her. So anyway, my great-grandmother has these 2 kids, and out of those 2 kids, there were 5 grandkids. So my dad being one of them. So what they did, or they decided to do, is they opened up my great-grandmother's house, and each of the grandkids got to go to the house and make a list of all the things they wanted. And then you had to take that list that you made and put it in order of preference of what you want, you know, so the thing you wanted the most was number 1, etc. Then all of the grandkids turned in their lists to these 2 sisters, and they rolled the dice to see what order they would go through the lists. And now this was after my grandmother and her sister picked out the things that they wanted, which really wasn't very much, I don't think. Well, my dad got to be number 2, and my uncle was actually number 1. My dad really wanted her secretary desk, and the china was number 2. And my uncle picked the desk as number 1. So he and my dad had similar tastes. So my uncle got the desk and we got the china, which was for me. So I didn't have to register for china when I got married and stuff. So yeah, but they have cribs, radios, bedding, lamps, everything in here. So to me, it's just another catalog that I'm going to enjoy putting in ephemera packs. And that was another one that I don't know how much it cost. All right, then I found this really cute stationery box. So maybe this would be a good thumbnail. Pretty in pink. And so, but most of it has been used. So it was supposed to have stationery, postcards, seal and send notes and seals in it. And I don't know the quantities of what it was supposed to have, but all it's got left in it is the regular stationery, which this isn't very exciting. And it had some 5 pretty pink envelopes left, but it did have some stationery. I don't know if these were the postcards because it's got stamp here, but none of the seals were there. So there were 6 of these still left, and they're pretty vintagey. I don't have any idea what the year is on this, but I really liked the box too. So these will probably show up in my shop if I don't just put them in ephemera packs, but I'm gonna keep the box because I think the box is beautiful. So and I paid $5 for this. So yeah, that was, I like finding old stationery. All right. Then I've got some more kids books. Now this first one is, I need to see if I can clean it because it appears to be, I don't know if this is mud or what it is, but I love these Telltale books. They're actually, I like Telltale books more than, or Tell-A-Tale books more than Golden books. But this is Timothy Tinker, and again, just I like the pictures and stuff. I do try to I do resell some of these, so because I know some people just like those kind of books to collect, although that one's kind of but then I found this one, and I didn't realize that it had a big scratch in the middle, so that's kind of unfortunate. And it is a board book, so it is MCMLX, so 1960. So it's, you know, probably when they first started making board books. But it's got 6 pages, so I really thought that these would make good journal covers. Maybe not this side per se, but these are great. The coloring is great. It's in good shape. It's got a little bit of the story. So you put one of these on the front and the back. And like I said, you might not use this part because it's also got this sticker that probably won't come off very well, but the back side had the same image and it was in pretty good shape. So yeah, so I thought these would make great covers for someone maybe that wanted to take this book apart. I mean, there's not very many board books that I would ever pick up and buy, but that's because I think I didn't realize they went back as far in time as that. Then this is in a really rough shape. It's been taped and even the tape didn't work. But a bird book with a washable cover. A Wonder Books with washable covers. Okay, well, it's been chewed on quite extensively up here, but I just really liked all the pictures. So this may or may not show up in my Whatnot show to bid on. But yeah, it is in rough shape. It's taped all over. And with blue tape. Not even the cool clear tape that turns brown over time. Then I picked up some more of these unused beverage labels. I think there's 50 in each one of these. So these are great for ephemera packs. Or if for some reason you collect old bottles and you have some old Dixie Spring bottles that are missing the label, you could put an authentic label on it. And then some more kids books, another Telltale book, but I'm probably not going to be able to get that off very well. And or remnants of the original. I guess I'll get out my lemon essential oil and see if I can get that off of there. But some of these Telltale books I picked up just because they were Telltale books. I didn't really care what kind of shape they were in, etc. And then this one, I really liked this cover. I mean, this would make a nice, if you gutted it, this would make a really cool journal cover. And just a lot of great images. Well, property of Monroe City Library. Nice. And I know people that take children's books and you kind of gut them, but then you use some of the pages from the book in the journal because you make it bigger because you give it a bigger spine. So that's always fun. But that was only $2. So it's, I mean, these, I don't know what these kind of books were called that had this kind of a cover, but I like these. All right, the rest of that is still books. So let's go back to, this was from the Salvation Army, got a whole set of unopened stationery. I might try to tea dye that just to see. Some of those, though, they bleed, and that's not really very pleasant. That's how I ended up with a bunch of green coffee dyed paper because the blue lines on some notebook paper bled. Then, okay, I don't know why I got this, except that I thought this would be a really cool journal cover too. I mean, it's totally framed and matted so that you could frame it, but it's a bird, which I like birds, and it's got the certificate of authenticity on it. So this is a green parrot, and it's signed by the artist, and this is number 5 out of 10. She only made 10, or this person only made 10, but congratulations, you have purchased a signed and numbered limited edition museum quality art print. It is hand printed on neutral pH imported Japanese mulberry paper. The print is green parrot, 5 out of 10, woodcut. Artist is Alice Jager Ashland from St. Louis, Missouri. I should look her up. And then it's also got just information about her. But yeah, I should just buy a frame and frame it because it's beautiful. So I don't know what I'll do with that. That's a an interesting one, to say the least. Then, I don't know, these are just business cards that you could run through a printer if you wanted. And I don't know, or you can just break them up and have cards that you can collage and all kinds of stuff. So it's, whenever I see this stuff, I don't know, I'm kind of a sucker and buy it, because I paid $1.99 for a design pattern that I would never use on my business cards. But it seems like a good price. And then these, shoot, you could probably get these, well, yeah, Dollar General. I only paid 50 cents, but they're little favor boxes. But I thought this would be cute. Little ephemera pieces. And then shelf liners. So I thought, what did I pay? It was originally $1 and I paid $1. Well, that makes sense. 3 sheets in each package. And it's just a really light kind of print. So I thought that would make some good paper for a journal. And then, so these were all things from the Salvation Army, and I just kind of was trying to buy kind of weird things. But I've got this Sticky Critters Volume 2, a sticker kit for America's National Parks. I paid $3 for this. But it's a nice box. So there's that. And a little description about it on the back. Does it have like what it was originally charging? And it doesn't have a date on it either. So anyway, it's supposed to have 6 sheets of reusable vinyl stickers. Oh, so kind of like color forms. And a double-sided play area board for arranging the stickers. So this is like color forms. Okay, well, that's kind of cool. Now, some of the stickers are gone from it, but I don't know, and they're vinyl stickers, so I don't know if you could use these, well, maybe on windows, but I don't want to use these on windows. I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is, would you use it in crafting? Perhaps. Anyway, so there are pieces missing on every one. But then it's got, oh, okay, well then it's got a book to tell you, oh, so it tells you which, if you want to make each one of these, which ones you need. So that's kind of cute. And then it's got the play area. And all those missing stickers are on here. So, yeah, it's like the Colorform Holly Hobby ones that I talked about in a previous video. So, I don't know. I don't know what I'll use this for. If you have any crafty ideas for this, let me know in the comments below. But it's a cute box. I don't know. I like finding decorative boxes that, I mean, granted it's awfully short, but all right, how are we doing on time? Oh, we are going to have a part 3, so let me save the rest of this for a part 3, and we will do our nostalgic TV trivia. And okay, so this felt like kind of a, oh, where did my, you guys, when did I lose my topper? Is it on me? So I didn't point out that I'm wearing Pair Eyewear. Oh, here it is in my lap. Okay, well here's a perfect chance for me to advertise for Pair Eyewear. I have in my description below a link to Pair Eyewear with my referral code. They give a referral code to everybody that buys from them. I'm not sponsored, but I love them so much. I have the Wanda glasses in clear because I feel like clear is the best option when you wear the toppers. Because if you get the colored ones, like say I have a pair of black, that I use for distance. Hang on a second. I was thinking that I had those sitting right here. Where did I put them? Oh, maybe not. My bed is covered in thrift things. Okay. I won't be able to demonstrate this very well because and it's empty. Well, it comes, well, here, let me just say it comes, you get one of these with your glasses. I just got plain old lenses, and, but you can get all the different coatings, you can get progressives, you can spend as much as you want on your glasses, but I just did the cheapy single vision lenses. Oh man, they really need to be cleaned. I did them in clear, and then you buy your toppers to get your different outfits. So I'm gonna have to go back now and see how long I've been sitting here with this having fallen off. But I have a ton of these toppers to match. I'm wearing my Holly Hobby shirt from Temu, and I don't know, I felt like this just seemed like a decent one to kind of go, I don't know. But anyway, you can also get, okay, so the toppers don't have a lens because you have the lens here, but you can get sunglasses, which do have a lens in them, like that. And I have 2 pairs of sunglasses because I really don't need, or of the toppers, because I really don't need too many. So, and they stack on top of each other because they're all magnetic. And yeah, but as I was saying, I have black ones for distance driving, or any kind of distance really. And I don't wear a topper with those. I literally only wear them to see at a distance, usually when I'm driving. And if I am wearing a topper, it's one of these. But I am glad that I didn't get black or one of the colors for my regular glasses, because if, say, you have black and you have a white topper, sometimes you can see the black rim through, and that's not a good look in my opinion. So I recommend people getting the clear if you're going to do it for fashion purposes. Which, why would you do these glasses if you weren't into fashion, right? Because that's the whole point. Now, I will say Jason was going to get some pair eyewear because they do have it for men and women, because he went and got his eyes checked last week, and the doctor said it's probably not best choice to get online glasses because he was afraid that it wouldn't, like he needed a professional to put them on and make sure that everything was in the right place. Now, I have not noticed a problem with that myself, but he's being cautious, and I'll let him. So, okay, well, now that I'm fully back dressed, let's do our TV trivia. Let me take them off, and it'll probably fall. No, they really don't fall off. I mean, some of them fit better than others, but I think I must have, I don't know. Well, that's what I'm going to say, is I must have snagged it on something when I was putting it back on. Okay. Who is forever failing to catch the Roadrunner in the cartoons? How were messages delivered on Mission Impossible? In what city did Toma take place? What was Ozzie Nelson's occupation before he became an actor? Name Mighty Mouse's chief foe. What color was Mr. Spock's blood on Star Trek? Which network originally telecast Rhoda? What cavalry show starred Forrest Tucker and Larry Storch? Okay. Oh, she is going to make a mess. Okay. Who is forever failing to catch the Roadrunner in the cartoons? Well, Wile E. Coyote, right? Yeah. That's what I'm gonna say. But then I keep thinking somebody was trying to always catch Bugs Bunny. Mimi is the Roadrunner, right? I'm not a cartoon person. How were the messages delivered on Mission Impossible? Well, do you see this? Things from the thrift store smell weird, and is she really literally, oh, okay. It's like, is she really, oh, she is going to sit here. But it's like, do you want me to pull it down over you? Oh, well, this wasn't from the thrift store. This was from the Five Below. Okay. Okay, so the messages on Mission Impossible, I don't know how they were delivered, except I feel like they were a cassette tape, then the cassette tape smoked up or whatever. So that's what I'm going to say. But they wouldn't have had cassette tapes, because this would have been talking about the original show, not the movies. Would they have, when did cassette tapes come into play? Would they have been back there? They would have had 8 tracks before cassette tapes. I don't know. I'm going to still stick with cassette tapes. But whatever that mode of, like, they weren't records, because it was something that had to burn up. In which city did Toma take place? I don't know. So we always say Springfield when we don't know what a city is. What was Ozzie Nelson's occupation before he became an actor? Well, I know some of his kids were into singing, but I don't know if he was a singer. So then I almost want to say teacher, just because what is she doing? Are you just trying to eat the box? She's trying to floss. Trying to floss with her. Okay, well, she's being a weirdo. So, okay. So I'm going to say teacher. I've looked up information on this family because, for one, I think Chris Evans looks just like Ricky Nelson. And so I was convinced that he had to be related. But was it Ozzie Nelson's, one of their, wait. Somehow Mark Harmon is related to this family, which is also how I was like looking into it. But now I can't remember if it was a cousin. How is he related to them? Maybe he's a cousin of the Nelsons. I don't know. So name Mighty Mouse's chief foe. I would think it has to be a cat, but honestly, I don't know, because you had Tom and Jerry. Who would have been Mighty Mouse's chief foe? You have Tweety and Sylvester. So I don't know. I don't know who Mighty Mouse's chief foe was. What color was Mr. Spock's blood on Star Trek? I believe that was green. Which network originally cast Rhoda? Okay, well, that means, does that mean that it was on a network and then it switched networks? I don't know what network Mary Tyler Moore show was on. I'm trying to think if it's a Paramount that I can watch that on, or if it's Peacock. I kind of want to say it was NBC originally, but I'm going to get this one wrong. I'm just going to say NBC. All I can think of is the MTM at the end of the Mary Tyler Moore show, and this was a spin-off of that. I don't know. That's, I guess, something I've never paid attention to for those shows. What cavalry show starred Forrest Tucker and Larry Storch? Okay, cavalry show. I'm sorry, I should have muted. muted this. So the ring, you weren't hearing every time the ring went off. Oh, I'm not going to have time to film my third video tonight. It's 4:30 already. Okay, well, maybe I should take the rug over to while I'm visiting my mom and cut it up over there. Yes, that sounds like an excellent idea while I'm just sitting there watching TV. Cavalry show. The Rifleman. Oh. Okay, who is forever failing to catch the Roadrunner? Wile E. Coyote. Oh. How are the messages delivered on Mission Impossible? Videotape recorder. Or via tape. Oh, wait. Via tape recorder. Well, I said cassette tape. I'm going to count that as a point. What city did Toma take place? That was Newark, New Jersey. What was Ozzie Nelson's occupation before he became an actor? He was a band leader. Okay, so I was closer to being correct when I said he was in the, that he had musicians in the family. Mighty Mouse's chief foe? Oil Can Harry. Well, of course. Never heard of Oil Can Harry. What color was Mr. Spock's blood? It was green. Which network originally telecast Rhoda? I would have been right if I would have stuck with Paramount. It was CBS. And what cavalry show starred Forrest Tucker? F Troop. Well, I did watch that, but I don't know those guys' names. So I think I watched F Troop on Nick at Night. Or maybe TBS after school. All right, so how many did I get? I got Wiley. And I'm saying I got videotape recorder and green. So I only got 3 out of 8. That's not very good. So, okay, well, that brings us to the end of part 2. So we will be back again with part 3. So if you enjoyed this, watch for that. And I enjoy sharing my crafty, thrifty hauls with you guys. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you'd rather see it from filming from screen or from screen down on a table instead of seeing me the whole time. And I might make that adjustment for future videos, but not the third one. The third one will still be like this. So, all right. Well, I hope you guys are doing good. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate. Make sure you subscribe, especially if you're a newer craft fan. This channel is predominantly Temu videos, but I'm in a Temu void rut right now because of not being an influencer. But I'm trying to work back into that program. So I just haven't had as much stuff to haul for that. So I came back to my crafty goodness. And I know there's crafty fans out there. I just have to figure out how to find them. So if you'd also consider leaving me a comment telling me what kind of keywords you use when you're searching for videos that you want to watch on YouTube, that would be super, super helpful. And but I will be back with some kind of content. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching and liking. And you can become a member of this channel if you're interested. And yeah, so thank you. And wherever you are, whenever you are, I hope you're having a great day. And until we meet again, take care of yourself. Bye.